Eddie Jones backs Steve Borthwick to remain England coach despite Six Nations struggles. Former England head coach Eddie Jones has publicly backed Steve Borthwick to remain in charge of the England national rugby union team, despite mounting criticism following a disappointing campaign in the Six Nations Championship. Speaking on the Rugby Unity podcast, the current Japan national rugby union team head coach addressed the growing pressure surrounding Borthwick's position after England endured a difficult tournament that saw them win just one match. While many pundits and former players have called for changes within the coaching setup, Jones believes the Rugby Football Union should resist the temptation to make a drastic decision and instead continue to support the current head coach. According to Jones, coaching at international level requires patience and stability, particularly with a Rugby World Cup approaching. Pressure mounting after England's disappointing Six Nations. England's 2026 Six Nations campaign was far from what supporters and analysts had hoped for. The tournament began on a positive note when England secured a victory over the Wales national rugby union team in their opening fixture. At the time, the result appeared to signal a promising start and raised expectations that Borthwick's team could challenge for the title. However, that victory proved to be England's only win of the entire championship. Following their opening success, England suffered 4 consecutive defeats, leaving the team near the bottom of the standings and prompting serious questions about the direction of the national side. Losses against top European rivals exposed several weaknesses, including inconsistency in attack, defensive lapses, and difficulty maintaining momentum during crucial moments in matches. The disappointing results inevitably intensified scrutiny from media, fans, and former players. As the pressure mounted, speculation began to circulate about Borthwick's future as head coach. Jones acknowledged how quickly public opinion can shift when results fail to meet expectations. The problem is that the noise around coaching jobs is so loud now, he explained during the podcast. When the drums start beating, it usually means the writing is on the wall. In modern professional sport, coaching positions often become vulnerable when results decline, particularly in high-profile national teams such as England. A call for support from the RFU. Despite recognizing the pressure Borthwick is under, Jones strongly believes the Rugby Football Union should stand by their current head coach, rather than making a reactionary decision. He argued that the governing body should provide support and stability to help the team improve. I think Steve is the right man to coach England, Jones said. I think they should support him through this. Jones acknowledged that mistakes may have been made during the Six Nations campaign, but he insisted that those issues can be addressed without changing the coaching leadership. According to the experienced coach, replacing Borthwick at this stage could disrupt the team's progress and create further instability. Maybe he's got a few things wrong, Jones admitted, but they need to help him fix those mistakes rather than getting rid of him. Jones' comments reflect a belief that long-term success in international rugby is rarely achieved through constant changes in leadership. Instead, sustained improvement typically requires continuity, patience, and a clear long-term strategy. Michael Cheika linked with England job. While Jones has urged the RFU to remain patient, speculation about potential replacements has already begun. One of the names most frequently mentioned as a possible successor is Michael Cheika, the former Australia national rugby union team head coach. Has built a strong reputation at international level and is widely regarded as one of the most experienced coaches in the game. Several pundits believe Cheika could bring renewed energy and tactical clarity to England's setup. Former England fly half Andy Good recently suggested that the RFU should consider making a move for Cheika. Good even urged RFU chief executive Bill Sweeney to get the checkbook out in order to secure the Australian coaches' services. Despite these calls, Jones made it clear that his support for Borthwick is not intended as criticism of Cheika's abilities. Cheika could do a good job, Jones acknowledged. However, he believes the timing of any coaching change would be problematic given the proximity of the next Rugby World Cup cycle. The challenge of international coaching. Jones also used the discussion to highlight a broader issue in rugby: the difficulty coaches face when transitioning from club rugby to the international arena. Many successful club coaches initially struggle when stepping up to international level due to the very different nature of the role. At club level, coaches typically work with players on a daily basis, allowing them to implement systems, build relationships, and refine tactics over long periods of time. International coaches, however, operate under very different conditions. They often have limited time with their squads, sometimes only a few weeks before major tournaments. This compressed preparation time makes it far more difficult to implement new systems or dramatically change playing styles. Jones believes that most coaches require several years to truly master the demands of international rugby. I was listening to someone talking this morning about how it takes 4 or 5 years for a coach to really learn the trade at international level, he said. I think that's pretty accurate. For that reason, Jones believes it would be unwise to remove Borthwick just as he is gaining significant experience in the role. 4 years of experience. Borthwick has now spent several years in charge of England and has already experienced both highs and lows during his tenure. One of the most notable achievements of his time as head coach came during the Rugby World Cup 2023 in France. Despite having limited preparation time after taking over the role, Borthwick guided England to the semi-finals of the tournament. That performance exceeded many expectations and demonstrated the team's ability to compete with the world's best sides under his leadership. Jones believes that experience should not be overlooked when evaluating Borthwick's current position. Steve is now 4 years into the job, he explained. At this stage, he understands the environment and the demands of international coaching much better. In Jones' view, removing him now would discard valuable knowledge and disrupt the team's development ahead of the next World Cup. Stability ahead of the next World Cup. With the next Rugby World Cup approaching in the coming years, Jones believes stability should be the priority for England. International teams often perform best when they maintain continuity within their coaching staff and playing group. Frequent changes can lead to confusion about tactics, selection policies, and team culture. Jones argued that England's best chance of success lies in allowing Borthwick to continue building toward the next global tournament. They're going to get the best result with Steve as head coach, he said. While acknowledging that every coach eventually reaches the end of their tenure, Jones suggested that such a change should happen after a major tournament rather than during a preparation cycle. Maybe after the next World Cup it will be time to make a change, he added, but right now, he should be given the opportunity to finish what he started. Recognizing Borthwick's coaching ability beyond the strategic considerations, Jones also made it clear that he has great respect for Borthwick as a coach. Those achievements helped establish Borthwick as one of the most promising coaching talents in the sport. Jones believes that track record should not be forgotten simply because of one disappointing tournament. He's a good coach, Jones said. He's done a good job. The experienced coach also pointed out that England's most recent performance showed encouraging signs despite the defeat. Signs of progress. Although England's overall results in the Six Nations were disappointing, Jones noted that the team showed improvement in certain areas during their final match. Their attacking structure appeared more organized, and the players demonstrated greater commitment in executing their game plan. A crucial decision for English rugby. The debate surrounding Borthwick's future highlights the immense pressure that accompanies leadership roles in international sport. England is one of the most prominent teams in global rugby, and expectations from supporters are consistently high. Every result is scrutinized, and every decision analyzed. For the RFU, the coming months may prove decisive in determining the direction of the national team. Whether they choose to back Borthwick or pursue a new coach will have significant implications for England's preparation ahead of the next World Cup.